Okay. Welcome, everyone, to the City Advertising and Promotion Commission meeting for September the 22nd, 6 p.m. at the auditorium. Carol, will you please take the roll?
James?
Here.
Patrick?
Here.
Jeff?
Here.
Harry?
Here.
Melissa? Here. Bobby is absent.
Okay.
We have a quorum.
I have a statement here. This is a letter from Bobby Foster to the commission. It's dated September the 15th, 2021. She asked me to read this to us. I am writing to inform you that I have sold both cafes to my sister-in-law, Jennifer Cross. I do not know which one of us is more excited, but I think it's me. It has been my pleasure to serve this community and our guests in the hospitality industry. I have also enjoyed serving my community as a commissioner on the CAPC, and now that I am no longer an owner or manager, I am resigning my position effective immediately. I am most proud that we were able to hire such an effective ad agency during my time on the board. I strongly believe that our best days are ahead of us, and I will always call Eureka Springs home. If I can be of assistance during the time it will take to fill the position, please don't hesitate to ask. Best regards, Bobby Foster. So we want to wish her the best, and I'll let you guys have comments at the end about her. So, approval of the minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes of September 8th, 2021.
Second.
I'll abstain since I wasn't here.
Okay, I'm going to give everybody to look over these before we discuss them.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I'm rusty.
You'll get back in the group.
Yeah.
Anyone have any changes or amendments to the
No.
minutes? Okay. Let's take a vote. James?
Abstain.
Patrick?
Abstain.
Carol?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and I will vote yes because I was,
Okay.
so was here. So that's 4. The motion carries. Okay. Public comments? No public comments? Okay, we'll move into old business.
How about agenda updates?
Does anyone have anything for the
Yes,
agenda? Okay.
a raise for the
I've
front,
got an update on the
One at a time.
wheelchair. Oh,
raise for the front of the house manager.
pardon?
Do we have
Raise
a raise for,
for the front of the house manager.
do we have a
We
second for that?
discussed that a couple of meetings ago.
I'll second the discussion.
Okay, we have a second. So let's take a vote on that. James?
Yes.
Patrick?
Abstain.
Okay. Carol?
No.
No?
No.
Harry, no?
Wow.
Is this for discussion or?
Yeah, to get it on, for us to get it on the agenda, we have to have a vote.
Okay.
Well, do we have, if,
Well, for discussion, I believe we discussed keeping the salary the same through the end of the year.
Let's finish
why I'm voting no.
Okay.
let's get the vote.
I'll just say yes.
Okay, so that makes it 3, so I'm going to vote no, so it doesn't carry.
A point of order, I don't remember the statement of we would leave it the same till the end of the year, unless that was made at the last meeting, which I didn't attend. The previous meeting, we'd hired the front of the house manager, and we were going to table the discussion of a raise till later. I don't remember your statement at all.
That's what I recall. It may or may not have happened, but I recall that we talked about leaving it fixed till the end of the year.
That's not what I recall at all.
Okay, so any other agenda
I'd
updates?
like to add an update on the wheelchair lift.
Okay, I have the auditorium on here, and I have renovations for the auditorium. Are you okay if we just keep it in that space?
Add that to old business.
Yeah, it'd be under old business, and it would be under number 2 there, under auditorium
Okay.
for renovations. So we already have it in there, okay. And so under the auditorium, that leaves us, takes us to old business auditorium. I've asked Molly to do a report for the shows, starting with our last show. Thank you, Molly.
I'll go ahead and start with the Folk Festival budget, which you all have in front of you. That's just for our advertising until November 11th. So if you look at that, we had about $8,000, and a good chunk of it is going to radio. We're trying to target Northwest Arkansas, Springfield, and Tulsa. We also have a TV ad that's going to hit on Fort Smith and Fayetteville. We also went through Wicker Walker for some print. That's going to include some flyers and posters you'll see around town and in the surrounding areas. And then pending, we have a part in What's Up, and then about $700 for boosting the main events that are going to be at the auditorium through Facebook. Any questions on the folk budget? Okay, we can kind of move on to auditorium shows. The one we just had was Robert Earl Keen. We opened the doors a little bit early this time just because we did have temperature checks at the door. That was at 5:30 and the show started at 7:30. Just kind of talking with Madison and debriefing. The next time, we're just going to double check all of our communications with other departments with parking, and then coordinate with city events just so we can, really have things go a little bit more smoothly. But overall, it was a really smooth operation for our first show. Just kind of some stats. So we sold 685 tickets, and that's about 35,000 in ticket sales. We made about 5,000 in concessions. So in total, with the rental fee and concessions was about 8,000, and then with labor, parking, and concessions, which we had to stock, was about 5,000, so our gross profit was 2,800.
Obviously, the biggest hit on that was that you had to stock all concessions
Right, we
from
really didn't
from
have
scratch,
anything. Yeah,
because it's been so long.
correct.
That's good to know.
How are the ticket sales for the Folks Festival going?
It really just depends, because we have, about what event you're asking for, because we do have 4 events in the auditorium, so. But as a whole, as a festival as a whole, we're doing pretty well.
I have a question. Were people spread out through the auditorium? Did we open upstairs, or did we hold everybody down?
We had upstairs open. People were sitting down on the floor and up in the balcony.
Well, I'm impressed. I thought it wasn't going to make it.
So did we do anything the last couple of days to push ticket sales?
With Robert Earl Keen? Not that I know of. There were a good chunk of tickets already sold because it had been rescheduled 3 times.
Right.
So it does contribute a lot to that. But we did have some walk-up sales, people just coming in the office and being able to sell them a ticket right there. A lot of people in town did hear about it, so they came right to the Odd, which was nice.
Molly, do you remember, I think Rick might have said it, there was a number of cancellations that we refilled?
297 is, well, it's refunded through the cancellation. So we basically would have sold out.
Yeah, okay, good, good.
We didn't handle marketing for this, right? That was all handled by Larry. Larry did the
It
marketing.
was, we
didn't market the show.
just kind of circulated the posters a little bit around the auditorium.
Right. Well, look, I appreciate the report, and I know that you guys learned a lot.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We're ready for the next one.
Right. Good. Any other questions on this? Here, we'll just let her move on to. Okay. Did you have anything else?
I didn't.
Okay, we're gonna let her go. I'll put her at the beginning. Today is her mother's birthday, so
Yeah.
we wish her happy birthday and be safe going back.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, so we'll move right into renovations, and I kind of did this because we made a little bit of money on the show, so I'm going to let Madison talk about what it's really costing for us to do a show and what it looks like.
Yeah, so as Molly said, we actually had a profit this time. I think that's not normal, and Rick can attest to this. I believe we typically break even or we lose money. So it's awesome that we made a profit. I'll count it as a win. Molly and I discussed with Jeff about possibly using our profit for some renovations in our office. Primarily, it would be renovating the flooring, possibly some lighting, some better lighting, and some more blinds. We would just take our profit that we used for this and use it for the renovations in our office downstairs.
Do you have what you want to do down there, or any estimates?
So we've spoke with a contractor. He gave us kind of a soft estimate. He had a few more bells and whistles than I think we'll do right now, but I think within what he gave us, it would work for at least flooring, maybe some new paint, new blinds, and maybe new lightings. But at the very least, we would fix our flooring. The carpet down there just really needs to be torn up. Blinds, the blinds in there are really old. If we can get it, lighting and painting the walls, but that might be for next time. I know for sure we could do flooring and at least the blinds as well.
What about, I know, Patrick, you've had offices. One of the things that concerns me, and it's just, I think some partitions, kind of for everybody, a little bit of privacy.
Yeah, I'd mentioned that, setting up my design studios, that I really believe in going to a company. In Little Rock, it was a company called Today's Office, and they sold Herman Miller and other Interplan style setups where it's modern, but good design, allows you to have partitions, but still have visibility to your coworkers. Because if Molly and Madison are both on the phone and say Ron's desk is in there and maybe Scott's, working and so on.
Karen will be in there.
And Karen in there, you've got a lot of people chatting, talking. It's going to get echoey. It's going to get difficult for people to conduct business. So that's one way to do it. They make systems that are very movable, integratable, and modular. So that would be something that I would.
Who did you say?
It's
company?
Today's Office in Little Rock is who I used to go to, but I'm sure Fayetteville's got somebody that does that same exact
Right.
thing.
Right.
It'd be a great place to plan. I think it's going to be to the benefit, and also to have, and if we can use any of the current furniture, that's great. Getting rid of some of the big execu-desks, it's just not reasonable for what the kind of work they're doing now on laptops, iPads. But having a conference table where even we can do executive meetings down there, and that, when we're working with Molly and Madison and whoever else, I think it would be beneficial.
Well, I personally think we are moving our office to the odd, and the money saved can go towards some of this, can go towards some of it. I think it's important, we're working to ramp up the auditorium, we're working to ramp up what we do here, and I really think I'm not talking top of the line, but I think we need to make it look a little more professional, and
Absolutely. It's a professional office. We're asking
Right.
the people that we've hired who are professionals to operate that way, and it's also going to be the face of the CAPC here at the Odd from here on out, so I think
Right.
it's imperative.
Yeah, I do too.
Plus, let alone just for workflow, because I know what it's like to be in a busy marketing design studio, and the amount of things that we're asking them to do, they need a workspace that's congruent with that.
Yeah.
And a
do-
dry erase board. I totally believe in dry erase boards. I love them.
I think we agree on that. Do we want to set a budget
Yes.
so that we can get started on, or do we want to get one of the commissioners, anybody want to volunteer to take on getting some quotes and doing some, I mean, it's a lot, and also, we don't have a lot of time here. Our time is pretty
Yeah, we gotta
tight.
move, don't we?
Yeah.
We got to move, and so the question then becomes,
Well, I think definitely baby steps. I mean, first and foremost is new carpet, possibly get some of the paint. As she said, the blinds are awful. All of the furnishings and stuff like that can come later, but if we give them a budget to work with, then at least we can start the process of talking to someone about doing it
I
right.
suggest floor covering and not carpet.
I was
Well,
just,
yeah,
I was
that's what I
just
mean,
going to
not-
suggest that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I said that wrong.
That vinyl, or else the industrial carpet.
Yeah,
But,
some kind
yeah.
of flooring,
Right.
that would be much better.
Should we give some thought to a better display as you come into the lobby?
Yeah, signage.
Because I feel with as many people as we're going to have down there, people are going to stop in and want brochures and those kinds of things. And what we have functions, but it would be nice to have something that looked really good.
And we should get more than one bid on this.
Yeah.
And if it's over 20,000, it has to have out for bid.
Yeah.
how do we want to leave it? Do we want to start getting bids? Do we want to give, I mean, we got a $2,800 profit here. We could at least get started with a new floor. I mean, do we want, I mean, I just don't want us to, with commissions, here we are, may not, it's 2 weeks before we even talk about this again.
I say
we don't have
Yeah.
we committed to be moved by December the 1st.
I say we set them in motion in getting that office livable for now so that they can make the move. So spend that money now, and then we'll add to a workshop agenda
Okay.
and maybe set up a committee, or I'll be happy to volunteer and work with Madison and Molly to help them build the proper office for professional
Okay,
work to be done later.
great. Can you
That-
get us some bids?
Yeah, I
or
can start.
quotes?
I know how to start talking to these people, so I would
Okay.
be happy to volunteer my
Good.
time for that.
One of the things that we've got to do is dispose of the junk that's down there.
That's a good point.
How do we
Garage sale.
properly dispose of all the junk that's in there?
I'd be happy to help with that as well as the other office, getting it
Awesome.
cleared out, so.
Well, I think the first thing that needs to happen is an inventory. We need an inventory of what's down there, and anything that's worth more than, I don't know, anything worth less than $300 or something, we just take to Echo and we get
Donate
a
it to
tax deduction.
Echo
or
will
just-
come pick it
and
up.
They can come pick it up. And anything over a certain amount, then we will look into Facebook Marketplace, something like that, to offload it.
So let's make an inventory, not just of this office, but we need an inventory of the other office so we can see what we have,
Absolutely.
okay? Let's
Good
do that.
idea.
And then, do we want to make a motion to, and have a vote on this $2,800? At least we could get started on the floor.
I move that we approve a budget of $2,800 to start the renovations of the office.
I'll second that.
Okay? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And to be clear, that's the $2,800 out of the profit of the show, right? I mean,
Yeah. Yep.
do we need to clarify that in the motion? We're okay? No? Okay. Good. Anything else on renovations? You had something that you wanted to talk about, the lift? Is that what you?
Yeah,
We're talking
it's
about-
lift. Next Friday, Leslie Boyd from the company that's going to give us a new lift is coming to measure. She'll be here between 11 and 1, so I'll have to be able to get into the building and meet her here.
Okay.
I imagine Madison will be here.
And just so everyone understands, that's the lift that we use for handicap people that come in off First Street and they come up. It
Yeah.
lifts them
Yeah.
up to the,
With the 600-pound capacity and battery operated, and made by the same company, just not a antique from the same company.
Right. I assume we don't ever use that to move equipment. Is that correct? I can't see if Ron's up here.
I don't think we use that at all. We don't ever load in on that lift.
No.
No, but we
No.
move beer and stuff,
Okay.
on
All
the
right.
old one anyway.
So, did you have anything else on that report? If not, okay, so Bear is here, Bear Morrison here, he promotes concert, he's helping us with Folk Festival, and most of you not. Will you come up to the microphone? Bear is interested in promoting some more shows, and he literally just texted me yesterday and said, hey, I've got some show ideas, and I just said, well, let me put you in front of the commission, so will you share with us what you want to do and what you're asking for us to do?
Yeah, starting off into it though, I was going to talk a little bit about the show I'm helping with, or the show I'm doing the Thursday going into the Folk Festival. I know there's a lot of COVID stuff going on. My show, I'm making it to where you have to show a vaccination card or have a negative test result within 72 hours. And I've already sold, I think about a day, around 200 tickets or so it's moving pretty good even with that. And I haven't even started, I've spent about $180 on Facebook
Right.
promotion so far into that. But I'm releasing a poster for that next week, and I'm going to try to start pushing it hard, and I think I should get close to selling out.
Good.
But, yeah, I had an artist message me a while back. I've been talking with her. She's just on a tour right now and selling out most of her dates. She's Americana music, and she's wanting to come through Northwest Arkansas. And it's been between here and Fayetteville, and I'm wanting to bring her in here because she sells out most of her shows and just released an album that I'm pretty sure is going to be nominated for multiple Grammys, what people are saying. And the nominations will come out for that in November. She's wanting to come through in February. The last 2 days I had an idea because I know a lot of good Americana artists that are doing very well right now. I was thinking about maybe doing an Americana weekend here in town in February. And I know February, there's not usually a lot going on in town. I think it could bring a lot of people to town because I'm pretty sure even with the COVID going on, I think she could sell out pretty easy with the lineup I'm wanting to do. So I'm wanting to maybe get the auditorium for a Friday and Saturday show, February 18th and 19th.
18th and 19th, okay.
And just any help I could get from the city at all with promotions. I've also been talking to local venues in town about having artists, and I think it can bring a lot of people in. So I know it'd be beneficial to the city as well, but just turning it into a whole Americana weekend kind of a thing.
Okay.
And yeah, if I could get any help I could with promotion or just get it kind of okayed or the blessing to do it, you know.
Is there anything on our schedule for February the 18th, 19th for the auditorium?
As far as I know, no, but I'll double check.
Okay, so we don't know of anything for that weekend. What benefits,
Well, you have the possibility that Valentine's flows over into the following weekend as opposed to the weekend before, because that's the biggest thing going on in town for about 3 months during that
I'm
period.
pretty sure it's close enough to the weekend before, so I've looked into that, kind of thinking about that already. Wait,
Yeah.
it's on the 14th, right?
Right.
Monday.
So it'd be, the Valentine's weekend would be the weekend before.
Yeah, you could push a little hearts on that.
Put it on your poster.
Yeah, could you bring us, Bear, a really good proposal? Because I'm sure we can't help you out, but maybe the next meeting or so, bring us a really good proposal on this.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And that's just something, I had some options of do it in Fayetteville as well, but if it's something I think can happen, I'm going to let them know because they're trying to lock down the dates that could possibly do it here. Something else I was going to kind of talk about while I was sitting there thinking, I know that I'm doing my event the Thursday. It's kind of associated with the Folk Festival, but it's not like on the flyer. And it's not like, I feel like I'm not piggybacking on the festival so much as I know that the Saturday main event, I think they've only sold like 10 tickets as of today. And I think if I could help it out a lot by pushing my event more. So I don't know if maybe the city wanted to help me do some online promotions once I release the flyer next week, because I think my event getting close to selling out or doing better could help bring people in for the whole
Sure.
weekend coming in on Thursday
we have a
as well.
budget, and as part of our marketing budget, you can get with
Yeah.
Bear on that, yeah.
We can
So
do that.
That's already approved money. so.
Yeah.
And is there a reason he's not on the flyer?
I didn't make those flyers. I don't necessarily know how the
They're-
logistics of that happened, but
I can tell you. So the way it was, I have this guy, Todd Schneider. He's a world famous folk musician, and with him being, he toured a lot with John Prine and stuff. He's really known with his people. He saw the lineup, and he had to have top billing, like he had to be the #1 guy on the bill, and they already have, I think, a band called Gangster Grass is the headlining on Saturday, and we couldn't work it out to where Larry would let them be second on the co-bill, so I had to do it. So it wasn't going to happen, so the only way I could get him to come still, I really wanted to bring him in town with the folk weekend, was to do it as a separate event. And so I'm doing it as my own thing and have to make my own flyer for it. But I have a really good artist doing it. I'm excited about releasing it next week. Had this painter paint Basin Park with him and other musicians in the park
Oh, great.
with it.
Oh,
And
that's cool.
they've been working on it for about a month, so next week I'm going to be releasing that. And yeah, I think I've had around 200 tickets sold, and I haven't barely done anything to push it. So once next week I start pushing it, especially if I could get some help with it, I think I could pretty much sell out the show on Thursday, and that would bring people in for the weekend, you know, and help out with the festival a lot.
Well, Todd Snyder puts on a great show, and we've seen him in Little Rock many times over between the 90s and the 2000s. You'll sell out.
Yeah, I'm
I've already
excited
heard
about
people talking about it staying with us.
It's getting pretty, people are talking a lot about it in here, what kind of show it'll be, and I've talked with him, and he's excited about it. He thinks Eureka Springs is a cool town, and I think it'll bring a lot of people in.
Well, and he brings a very unique, eclectic crowd because his music is it's kind of folk, but it's also Americana. It's also a little country, a little bit of rock. He's got a little bit of everything.
What's neat is most people have had a lot of people that have been buying tickets messaging me. They're not just people from the area. It's a lot of people from Oregon and California and people that are coming in for his show on that Thursday.
Yep.
So let's do this. I'm going to let you work with Bear. Madison, will you work with Bear? And y'all put together a proposal for marketing support for this weekend, February the 18th and 19th.
Okay.
And we'll see. And then you guys can figure out what date you want to come back, either in a workshop or a meeting. Is that okay?
That works for me.
Yeah, I think, unless anyone, I think we're very interested, obviously,
Yeah.
in helping. And February really works good for us. It's a good month to have it. And maybe we have an elevator.
Yep.
Wouldn't that be fun?
It would be
I
great.
think I can make it a big weekend because she's one of these up-and-coming artists that has got all this buzz behind her, and there's a certain group of musicians she runs with, and I think if I get them around town and everyone knows that they're going to be kind of playing
Yeah.
around everywhere, I think a lot of people would be coming for it.
Great.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you.
Well, thank you. Thanks for stepping up.
Yeah, thank you guys for your time.
Thanks, Bear.
Okay, and we do have a marketing report from Paradise. We'll turn it over to Madison to go over marketing.
Can I talk about the rental agreement?
Yeah, we'll back up a little bit and we'll talk a
Sorry.
little about the,
So Molly and I made this preliminary rental application for the auditorium. We just quickly made it up today. We wanted to give it to all of the commissioners and ask if you had any additions or subtractions or any advice on how wordage possibly, and just kind of wanted to give you an idea of what we're doing.
I think you need to include some kind of statement about insurance on it.
I was thinking the exact same thing, too.
And to be clear, this is an
not a
application.
contract.
This is not a contract. So this is, for example, if Bear came and said
Yeah.
exactly what he just said, I would hand this to him and say, we have to have all this, we have to keep it in file for all events. I can definitely add something, just a little note at the bottom or something similar, if you need this, because it is something that is overlooked, I believe.
I think it is. And I think it needs to be something that at least they know what they're walking into.
Yeah.
And it doesn't come as a surprise.
Sure.
And I've talked with Molly and Madison about our old contract. We really are going to have to work on, clean it up, and then get it to our lawyer. So I think this is a good start on what we want to do.
yeah, it's a process.
Yep.
It's gonna be a
Thanks,
process.
ladies.
Yeah. Okay. Marketing report?
Yeah. Okay. So, I received the marketing report from Paradise on September 15th, and this was for the month of August. I emailed this to everyone before this meeting, so if you want to dig in more and you have questions, feel free to let me know. So we're going to go into Facebook and Instagram paid social results. We had 291,000 impressions. We had over 69,000 post engagement, over 48,000 clicks. That is 0.9% over the industry benchmark, so we're doing good there. Specifically, Instagram, we have over 23,000 followers, and our total reach for August was over 153,000 people. In Facebook, August, our post impressions were over 609,000. In August, we had about 79,600 sessions for our website. Our visitors to our website went to over 3 pages and were on site for 2 minutes and 36 seconds. That's really good metrics. Our star report highlights hotel data through July. The occupancy was over 61%. Our ADR, average daily rate, is over $93, and RevPAR was at 58. And just a little note here, some other business, we have an upcoming brand shoot that will be the week of October 11th.
So just to let everybody know, you do have a full report in your email. Normally, we put that on a screen, but we have a technical snafu today, so no, but there is a full report from Paradise. In your email.
Right, so anybody can get it.
Yep.
We need to make sure that we get it on the website, and so that
Sure.
anyone can go to the .biz site and get it.
It's on the YouTube stream as well.
And thank you, Ron. It's on the YouTube stream as well as anyone who's watching the YouTube stream.
And I have one printed right here if any of you want one right now. So,
I didn't get one, so
you didn't get
I
it?
didn't get an email from you.
Maybe I sent it to the wrong email. I'll double check.
Okay.
We'll let you know.
Yes. Well, no, I'm glad you let me know.
Okay, anything else?
Very good.
Marketing, any questions on the marketing? Okay, so we have a finance director position. Rick is transitioning into retirement, and Scott is transitioning into our finance director as a part-time position. And so that will be happening starting next week. Just want to make sure everybody's aware of that. And then Rick, last week we moved some money around. We spent some money, so I've asked Rick to show us what changes we need to make.
Okay, at the last meeting, you voted to spend $35,000 for the elevator and ramp here at the auditorium. So we'll need to increase line 5002 by $35,000, which is our capital expenditure line. You also gave an actual $20,000 more to the mayor's the Arts Council, or the Mayfest. I'm not sure exactly what it's called.
Festival of the Arts, I think, is,
May Festival of the Arts. We have a separate line for that, which is 5035. We need to increase that by 20,000. You set Molly's salary, which is already funded through salaries, so we won't need to change anything there. We added $63,500 for the fourth quarter local marketing for Madison and Molly to do, so we'll need to increase line item 6047 by $63,500. And then that was what just happened at the last meeting, but we also have one other line item, 6099, which is our office contingency that's over budget due to our hashtag bumper sticker and window clings campaigns, as well as interview travel and moving travel and mileage. So we need to increase the office contingency line by $15,000, which is line item 6099. And we would just fund that by increasing our tax income, line 4005 by $133,000. Right now, we're $275,000 above our budgeted figure, so we're in good shape there to I just don't want Scott to inherit an unbalanced budget.
Okay.
We just basically need to fund the additional stuff that we did at the last meeting.
I'll make a motion that we amend the budget, 4005 tax collection. Is that 133? No,
Yeah.
that 133K.
Are we still able to have discussion before you make a motion?
Yeah, we will,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. 6047 contingent media, we added 63.5. 5035 May Festival of Arts, we add 20,000. Office expenditures 5002, 35,000. And then office contingency, 6099, we're going to add 15,000.
I second.
I've got a question.
Okay, discussion?
Why shouldn't we have that 35K for the lift in auditorium expenses instead of office expenses?
Well, it's actually a capital expense. Due
Is that
to-
because it's a one-time expense, is that?
Yeah, the city, anything that expensive, the city has to put on the tax roll. We don't actually pay taxes, but it has to go into an amortization schedule that Lonnie does at City Hall. So it really needs to be listed as capital expense rather than an auditorium expense.
Right, we should have capital expenditure line in the auditorium expense then.
We can add one if you all want to.
Yeah, it should be added there because we're going to be having other capital expenses in the auditorium.
All right, at our next workshop, let's work on that.
And I know there's only a couple of companies that do that elevator, but since it's 35,000, it actually needs to go out to bid to, just to keep everybody out of trouble.
That was the only company I could
I
find.
know, I've researched it too, and there's not much to choose from, but we still got to make the attempt.
Okay, we will do that. Put it out for bid.
Okay.
Do we, real quick, Rick, do we have an actual number on what Right Minds Advertising charged in total for the hashtag project?
I don't have that with me, but I do have that
Yeah.
number. The line item for that was 4,000 and something, which included labor and the printing of the stickers, the bumper stickers and that stuff.
Right.
It's like $4,400.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Any other discussion on this? Okay, let's take a vote. James?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
Harry?
Yeah,
Melissa?
Yes.
Okay, so you guys please make those adjustments to the budget. Okay. That ends our old business. We do have some new business, and since we do have Rick transitioning out, and we need to make some adjustments to our bank accounts and credit cards, we need to, and Rick, you can help us with this, we need to have a vote to remove you from banking accounts, credit cards, and what else?
Just those two items. You'll need a new signature card. Currently, Melissa and yourself is on there.
Right,
Typically, Madison would be on there.
right. And we need to,
And Scott.
so Scott will not be a signer, is that how we, okay, so I think.
So you could do just Madison, you and
That's right.
Melissa if you want to keep it
And it still
the
requires
same.
two signatures. So we
And-
need to kind of clean up that, so we just need a motion that clearly we can take to the bank so they can adjust our bank.
Yeah, they have to have minutes with that motion stating
Okay.
each person's name to be added to the signature card.
Okay, so we don't want Scott's on it at all?
We don't, Scott, you want to come up here, you can help us too? We don't need Scott signing checks, we just need him to be able to have access to the banking account.
Correct.
Okay.
Right, so he doesn't have to be a signer. And what do you recommend here that we, in the past, Rick has been a signer.
Right. I do not think it would be wise to have your accountants writing checks and signing checks. That's an audit finding right off the bat.
Right.
So, but I do need access to the accounts, maybe dial in and see what checks have cleared, or be able to get a copy of a bank statement or something of that nature, but I do not need to be on the signature card.
Okay.
Now, in the past, CS has had a problem when I was with Parks to try and implement a read-only. For some reason, they didn't want to do it that way. So they had to have me on the signature card, but I did not get on the signature card because of that fact. So you may have to talk to someone down there who can make it happen. I don't know who that is. I had one other question regarding your finances. The CAPC and the city have entered into an agreement whereby we were going to pay, I believe, $43,000 a year for the next 3 years. And so we're probably going to have to set up a long-term liability called due to Eureka Springs, so that when we make that annual payment, we would actually be going to a capital account, because it's actually going to be an improvement to the auditorium. So I just kind of want to make you aware of that.
Okay.
So the $43,000, you're going to make a payment for, I think, 3 more years?
I think
Maybe
it was
4?
longer than that. I think it was,
4 more after
Four,
this year.
3 or 4.
yeah, it's 4
You'll
years.
always have that. We'll have to decide when to make that payment, but that's something you need to think about also.
We will, just to remind everybody, we will be getting a contract from the city, and it will have a payment schedule
Okay.
on it. And that won't happen until the
You agree
actual,
with that?
until they actually start the work, because they won't pay for it until then. So it'll be a few months before we actually see that.
Yeah.
But we'll have an agreement between the city, and we'll be able to approve that, and it'll have the exact number and what we need to pay.
And I do agree with Rick on the capitalization of the elevator. It could be done within that sub-account fund, or it could be done as a capital asset on the balance sheet. Just whichever way we proceed, that's the way we need to proceed from this point forward, so we're consistent.
Okay. Okay, so we need a motion to get all this cleaned up. Who wants to?
I'll make a motion that we assign Madison, Melissa, and Jeff to the bank accounts and credit cards, and that Scott be able to access them,
Read only, I guess.
read only or access, yes.
Okay, have access to those on all of our bank accounts and credit cards. Is that, okay,
I second.
okay. Let's have a vote. Do we have any other discussion just before we, okay. James?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
Harry?
Yeah.
Melissa?
Yeah,
Okay. All right, we'll get that done. We'll need a copy of the minutes pretty
Look
quick.
at that,
Okay.
turn around. Okay.
All right. The other thing that I have on new business was, I felt like right now Melissa signs all of our contracts. It's her responsibility to look over them and sign them on our behalf. But I kind of felt like that we should go to a 2-signature system so that Madison sees them and she can sign them as a witness, and then Melissa sees them. That way we have a little bit more accountability. And so I put that on here so that we could do that. And I just feel like that's a little bit better process.
Absolutely.
For us.
Yeah.
And so I'd like,
Yeah.
okay.
I'd like for you guys to
And I will
clarify that.
tell you, all contracts are looked over by our city attorney before either of us sign them.
Yeah, and that, I think that's what, I think in the past we've talked about, it's a process to clean up the contracts, make sure they're appropriate, not just for us, but for the people that we're signing contracts with, make sure that they're legal, binding, and I think that extra accountability now for us is really good. We should just do that now.
And Jeff, I'm going to ask to add you to this just as an alternate if, like, let's say I went
Okay.
on vacation.
You can, or if anyone else
Yeah.
wants to volunteer for an alternate
What-
signing
does
on
anybody
contracts.
want to be an
I'll
alternate?
volunteer.
Oh,
Yeah,
Patrick,
that-
okay,
That would be fine.
Perfect.
It doesn't matter to me, but I think the more eyes that we have on contracts
yeah,
is more accountability, and I think we're going to get it right.
Yeah.
And that's the goal, right? So-
I have a question regarding signing contracts. I'm more familiar with entertainment contracts. When we formulate a contract for a group that's performing for us, we don't sign it before it goes out. Am I correct about that? We sign it after they sign it?
in my case, yes, it goes out to them, they sign it, it comes back to us. But I've had to send out addendums for them to sign, and then come back to us.
That's okay, as long as they sign
Right.
first and we sign second. Okay.
Okay. And maybe, because we need to start working on some contracts, maybe you would
I'd be
work
happy
with
to
the
help
girls on that? Great, fantastic.
Okay, so let's we have a motion for that, so we can make sure that that's,
I'll make a motion that we make Melissa Green, Madison Dawson, and Patrick Burnett as the contract signers and signees, and that any past signers are no longer qualified.
I'll second it.
it's two signature required, is that?
Yeah, 2 signatures required.
Any discussion, or we have a second? You second?
I second.
Okay. Any more discussion? James?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
Harry?
Yes.
Melissa?
Yes.
Okay, that carries. That's it, so let's do commissioner comments. James, you have comments?
Well, the best I can say is I'm disappointed that the committee wouldn't even allow the agenda item to come to the table for discussion for a raise for one of our employees. looking at the last minutes of the meeting, we're talking about 10-year records. We've got over $1 million in the bank. Collections are up almost 35%. Projections for the end of the year, the budget will be almost $400,000 over what we had budgeted for this year. Maybe it's a problem of continuity. I don't think any of you have been on this commission more than a year and a half, maybe
Not true.
two at the most.
4.
I have the floor, please.
Yeah, 4.
Thank you.
It's incorrect.
You can address that in your comments. Thank you. Somebody that's been here at least 10 years, if not longer, 15, we're throwing tens of thousands of dollars around salaries, and I'm sure I voted for them, no problem there. But hourly employees deserve better than this, especially with 15 years on the job. Things have changed in the world. $15 an hour is a starting wage. Employees are hard to get. Ask anybody in this town. And I think it's a slap in the face to our salaried employees that we're not willing to even discuss that at the table, yet we spend money in the hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands of dollars at a time. So yes, I'm disappointed. I'm sorry, commissioners.
Just wanted to say I'm happy to be back on the CAPC, and hopefully as I get more involved and understanding everything that's been going on, I've been so busy I haven't been able to actually see every single one of these. So to James's issue, I really wasn't fully aware of it, and it's the only reason I abstained, because I haven't felt like there's been any discussion with being involved. If it wants to come back up at some future time, then that might be the way to address that, now that at least I'd have the ability to make a informed decision. But anyway, regardless of that, happy to be back, and I got my seat back.
Yay!
I got my seat back. I got my seat back.
Carol?
Nothing.
Okay. Harry, do you have a comment?
Well, welcome back.
Thank you, sir.
And sorry, James, you disagree. It's, that's why we have this many people on the commission. I don't think years on the commission have a lot to do with it, but that's your opinion. My opinion's different.
Nice.
Melissa?
Well, first, I want to thank Bobby. She's a delightful lady. I wish her the best. I know she's got some fabulous plans, and I know she'll do them, so good luck to her. Patrick, I am so glad to see you. James, this is never discussed among us because we don't talk to each other, but I have the feeling, and it's nothing on Shirai, is that it's probably going to come to Madison, who is our boss, who will bring it to us with some kind of thing. I'm thinking that's what I'm thinking about, like maybe a job performance, and then we discuss it and vote on it like we should. I don't think anybody here was trying to disrespect our employee. I think we're just starting to try to do things what we feel is maybe the right way. So I don't think it was a disrespect to you or to Shirai over there. I just kind of have a feeling that the rest of them see that as it is Madison's job to analyze and bring stuff to the table for our employees, because she's in charge of them.
Yeah. So, welcome back.
Thank you.
Glad to have you back at the table. We appreciate you, and we appreciate what you do around town and who you are. So, thank you.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
I'm
Wait,
still on my
who's-
comment.
Oh, yay.
And so, and I also want to wish Bobby, all the best wishes for her and her sale of her business and so forth. We've competed against her, and she's a tough competitor, and she has been, and she's built a great business. So I wish her the absolute best in that. And James, we'll get that on the agenda for you. I'll help you get that on the agenda. So, thank you. A motion. To
I have
adjourn?
something to say.
Sorry, you're not recognized at this time.
Move to adjourn.
We have a second?
Wait,
Well-
Second, all right.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. Thank you guys for coming.